You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. Second thoughts about the retail apocalypse. Now, I'm going to tell you something with me. I'm not a person that needs to be right. Because a person that needs to be right, they'll stick with something that they've seen to be wrong, or there's been some changes, and they'll stick with it no matter what, just to say they're right. I'm a person that always seeks truth. So if I come across some information that invalidates something I may have said in the past or a belief that I had, I embrace it. Especially if it's another angle. I'm quick to do so. Right? I'm quick to do so. If I see it now, it's like once I'm presented with the information, I don't automatically accept it necessarily. But once I look at it and examine it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Right? Now, when I say second thoughts about the retail apocalypse, right? I saw some articles last week. It was interesting, and it was some business people who questioned the whole retail apocalypse, because they said one report, it was like one of those brief financial videos, you know, they have on different sites and everything, and it said there's been 7,000 stores that's closed, but then there's been 3,000 that's opened. And I was like, interesting. And then I started looking at some stuff, and then I saw another report, right? It said, it made an interesting distinction. It said, like high-end upscale stores, they're opening more. Like luxury stores, like those places you're going to walk into and you're going to spend some money. More of those are opening. Also, a lot of low-end discount type of stores are opening. Like you get a lot of dollar stores, some of those discount stores, the stores that get some secondhand stuff. And in fact, I was actually thinking about opening up like a spot, maybe starting at like a flea market or something with some high-end goods like Polo and Lacoste, stuff like that. I thought about it. I'll keep it in mind. That might be something I like being invested in, have somebody else, or, own it, but have somebody else really run it, right? But that's something here, there. But what's happening is this. They said the real issue is if you look at the stores that are closing, they're mostly stores that cater to the middle class. So the real issue is not so much all these stores are closing, but which stores are closing. Like you look at all the department stores, these are stores that cater to the middle class. Like I say from like the solid middle class to like the lower middle class, right? They're the ones closed. People ain't shopping in them anymore. People don't have money. That's the real issue. It's not so much the stores are closing. It's like the people who shop in those places don't have it. Like in the area I live in. Now I know some people who know me. They know I live in Harford County, Maryland, right? That's maybe a couple counties over from Baltimore, right? Close enough. On my Facebook I'll just say Baltimore or Bel Air. I ain't even sure. Anyway, right? And it's county, at least the little part I live in, the county seat, they're making a little bit of money, but then there's a lot of stores around here. But it's a middle, I say more solid middle class, but like at the same time, it's a lot of people who have the houses, definitely, but maybe not so much the money. And I remember a woman told me that years ago, like close to the first, like the Great Recession, about 2007. She said a lot of people out here got the money, the houses, but they don't have much else. And there's a lot of stores around here closing. The retail apocalypse is more about the decline of the middle class, because what's happening, people either falling out of the middle class or, and this is another part they don't talk about, a lot of people moving up. They're making more money. So when people make more money, what they do? They get more luxury goods. Now I was about to mention like the local shopping mall, right, up here, Harford Mall, right? It's actually declining. It's actually declining. I was walking through the other day and I was like, man, this place is always empty. Right? You ever go to a mall, it's always empty? Right? I mean, they got a Macy's there, but they got a Sears, and people who follow like this whole retail thing know Sears is about to be defunct. Yeah, I don't know. I give them maybe another couple years. And Macy's, it might come down to them just having one big store someplace, right? Because as an aside, even when stores close, they're still alive. Because I just read something, like if you got a used chain, it takes a long time for all of them to disappear. Like Blockbuster, everybody thought they were just gone, but apparently the last Blockbuster is about to close soon. So that's a long time. But anyway, right? This mall, the nearest mall to me, I mean, it's like a lot of empty spaces, just very few. Even if you walk through on a Saturday night, I actually walked through one time on a Saturday night, and for a mall, it was very empty, right? Now, contrast that with two malls that I have to drive a little bit further to, White Marsh Mall and Towson Town Center. Now, especially Towson Town Center. Towson Town Center got a lot of luxury places. You can get some stuff. Got a Brewberry, Michael Kors. You can get the high-end shit there. They still doing well. You go to White Marsh. White Marsh still is always crowded. Is always crowded. But that speaks more to the level of stores they have that caters to a slightly higher, like Towson Town Center probably caters to somebody actually higher, but then White Marsh is still mainly middle class, but the one near me, that definitely caters to the middle class more than that area does, and it's declining. So is it the retail apocalypse, or just it's really just money shifting around, all right? Like the stores, I mean, like I said, many stores are closing because if you really look at the retail industry, I mean, the majority of stores, majority of places cater to the middle class. But now that's changing up. So it's like, all right, we're going to have some stuff there. It depends on how you dealing with it. Now, like I said earlier, I was still thinking about it. I'm going to keep it in mind. Depends on how much I want to deal with the employees. Just getting some stuff. I know where to get some stuff wholesale, right? And just start selling it to people. Maybe even try to set up in one of these malls. I think, might be some cheap rent. I might actually ask about some spaces. It might be some cheap ass rent. Make sure I don't run afoul or something. Discount joint, something. They might need it. Oh, I might need to let a few more stores get empty. There's actually spaces around here to do that. I could probably set up something. I could probably set up just like something in a regular mall, right? Because people still want the stuff. I'll see. Depends how much I want to deal with it and how greedy I am. But one of the things I would say about the whole retail, look at the whole thing. Don't just say the stores are closing, because that's what I was saying, and everything. You got to look at it, everything, like whether it's the retail apocalypse, whether it's the automation thing, too. Because it might not take hold the way people think it will. People might say, you know what? It's just like flip phones. People thought flip phones were gone, ancient, but all of a sudden, you got flip phones out there now. You can surf the internet and everything. People just still want those joints, so you never know. But I'd say just in general, try to get the whole picture of whatever. All right? Because especially if you're in business and you want to open up some retail, you might just have to think about how you do it. You might have to just say, you know what, I'm going to just go whole high end, or I'm going to just go whole discount or something. But people, see, the thing is, everything being sold in retail, people still need the product. It's just a question of how much they're willing to pay for it and how much they can pay for it. So it's, there's opportunity out there. There's opportunity out there. Because even with the online thing, people are talking about it, but the same reports I was reading about all this, they say people still want to buy stuff. I mean, online is only 9% of all of this, the sales. It's not knocking out people like people think. They just, They just can't afford. They just at a place where they either can't afford the prices or that they can pay more, so they do so. So, there's always more to it. So anyway, remember, the opportunities are still out there. Let's go make that money.